finally getting round to my La Rive haul. So I did a little La Rive haul, a couple because I knew I just wanted to like them and I wanted them, and one that I just fancy doing a comparison on because it's so ridiculously cheap, and two that I wanted to know what the originals smelt like, but I didn't want to pay the price for an original when these are so cheap, and they've been voted as being pretty good dupes. So let's start off with one that I already know and love. That's why it doesn't have the box, because I absolutely love this one. I've already worn it. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Love Dance by La Rive. Banana-y, tropical, fruity, pineapple heaven. This is a 90ml eau de parfum. It was less than £10. It's in a very garish but kind of fun bottle, and it just smells delicious. This just smells absolutely delicious. I love this one, really love it. It's surprisingly smooth and lovely on the skin. So this one is top notes of coconut, peach and pomegranate, middle notes of banana and pineapple, base notes amber, musk and sandalwood. And this is a dupe of the old classic 90s, mid-90s Escada limited edition Rockin' Rio. Now for me, this is a kind of pineapple-y, fruity perfume with a softness from the coconut and a really quite dominant creamy banana note. It's absolutely lush. I love it. So that's that one. I don't really need to talk much because I have talked about that one before. So the next one is Give Me Love. I've talked about this in one of what I wore last week as well, because I just really like this one. And let's have a little look here. Take this out of the box. I'm not keeping that box because I'm keeping this perfume. This is just a little baby. This is an eau de parfum as well. I think this is 30ml. You can only get Give Me Love in 30ml for some reason. I'm not sure why. But Give Me Love is actually quite similar to this one, because this is a dupe of Pacific, I think it's called Pacific Paradise, which is also a 90s Escada perfume. This one though, top notes of lime, pear, coconut, middle notes of banana and pineapple, base notes musk, ambergris and sandalwood. So for me, this one is more of a lime and pineapple perfume, and it just has that slight softness. It's more syrupy. This one, I'd say this is a little bit more like a very traditional Escada limited edition. It's quite sweet and syrupy. It's relatively strong. This one is softer, creamier, a bit more gentle, because I think there's more banana and coconut in this one. So yeah, I mean, I really like both of them. I loved wearing both of them for the day. Really, really nice. And I think, yeah, lots of people say that the lime is above the pineapple for Give Me Love, but for me, I think it's super pineapple-y, and the pear and coconut and banana stop it becoming too acidic from that lime, but it is bright. It's kind of brighter, more zesty, and this one is a little bit cooler and, like, not calmer, it's calmer, maybe a bit warmer, I would say. So, oh, and then we've got Sweet Hope. So this Sweet Hope obviously is a dupe for Hypnotic Poison, and I know what Hypnotic Poison smells like, and I sort of knew I wasn't going to wear this. I knew it would be one I wanted to pass on, but I just really fancied doing a comparison, because I'm interested to know if you can spend £3 on a perfume and basically get the same vibe as a £100 perfume from Dior. And the answer is yes, you can. I mean, I would say you can tell that this isn't rich in comparison. It's lighter, possibly more easier to wear for that reason. Although maybe nowadays what I should be saying is Sweet Hope is a bit closer to the newer version of Hypnotic Poison, because Hypnotic Poison is definitely not as strong. The last time I went to smell it, I literally was like, hang on, this used to be like insanely strong, and it's not making me sick, which is something that used to happen with that perfume. For me, I find it with Sweet Hope, and to be fair, also with Hypnotic Poison from Dior, too medicinal for me. There's something about the spices in it that just really, and the woods with the almond, and that jasmine that becomes very, very medicinal. And I think that's why so many people think it smells like root beer. So I would say, like, for us, my comparison in the UK is that it smells like dandelion and burdock to me, which is not something I ever really like the smell of. It's not something I ever liked drinking. Again, too medicinal for me. But I think this is a pretty good dupe, like from my memory. And I've seen people who actually wear Hypnotic Poison say this is a good dupe. And this cost me £3 for 30ml for an eau de parfum, which is crazy. So the notes in Sweet Hope: top notes coconut, plum and apricot. Middle notes Brazilian rosewood, tuberose and caraway. Jasmine, lily of the valley and rose. Base notes almond, vanilla, sandalwood and musk. It's sweet, but it's not horrifically sweet the way that, say, so for instance, I think probably a lot of people would agree with me that Poison Girl is very sweet. This isn't that sweet, but it is sweet. You definitely get the almond. You've got a bit of creaminess from the coconut. You get that Brazilian rosewood. You get the jasmine. You get the caraway. Not a huge amount of plum and apricot, but a little bit of fruitiness. Sandalwood definitely. Vanilla definitely. Musk definitely. I'm not sure I would have picked out Rose and Lily of the Valley, but yeah, I mean, this one's not for me, but my goodness, it's an absolute bargain. It really is. So I should say these all came from makeup.uk, and this time round they were much quicker at delivery this time. My goodness, the first time I ordered from them, they were dreadful. This time, much better, and I've had a couple of orders from them and I've been really happy both times. Now I've got to find the right bit of paper. Let me just use a new one. So Destinee. Now Destinee from Rive is a dupe of Libre, or I imagine you would call it Libre if you're going to say it properly, by is it Yves Saint Laurent? Yeah, Yves Saint Laurent. So these, for some reason, also eau de parfum, but they come in 20ml if you want the little one. So again, super, super duper cheap. Now, I sprayed this days ago and I can still smell the vanilla on it. But I was really surprised by what this perfume smells like. Now, if this smells anything like Libre, I'm surprised at how Libre smells. Like, this is not what I was expecting. I'm not sure what it is that I find very strange about this, but I think it's probably jasmine. I'm going to now see if there's any jasmine in this. Interesting. Okay, there you go. Very soapy. Oh yes, there's jasmine. Yes, that's what I can smell. Okay, top notes: blackcurrant, mandarin orange and petitgrain. Middle notes: lavender, orange blossom and jasmine. Base notes: vanilla, musk, cedar and ambergris. I get a lot of jasmine in this. And a lot of very, very soapy orange blossom. It's nothing like I was expecting it to smell. I was expecting a vanilla and lavender bomb, and I'm not getting either of those things very much. The lavender starts to poke through a little bit more as it dries down a bit. I definitely getting a tiny bit of that blackcurrant. The vanilla is nowhere near as strong as I was expecting. And then I guess it comes out in the dry down, because all I could smell in the deep dry down was vanilla. I don't really know what petitgrain smells like, but I feel like this is so soapy that it's almost like a neroli vibe to me, which must be a mixture of the orange blossom and mandarin. But yeah, when you first spray it, wow, you get a lot of jasmine. A lot of jasmine. I'm getting a little bit more lavender as it dries down. I'm getting more vanilla. The vanilla is definitely starting to come out to play, but it wasn't there in the first spray. Yeah, I mean, I think there's probably too much jasmine in this for me to ever want to wear it. But yeah, it's just not what I was expecting this to smell like at all. And I'd be interested, I mean, I don't want to spend the kind of money that you're going to spend to get a bottle of Libre. And it's probably not my kind of perfume enough for me to even really worry about getting a dupe. I just sort of wanted to know the general smell of it, you know? And again, sometimes helpful to try these because they're nowhere near as strong. And if I really smell a really strong perfume that smelled like this, it would instantly have been I wouldn't go back and sniff it. It would have made me feel sick. It would have given me a headache. So, but this is also, to be fair, the sort of perfume I think would give me a headache. What I will say about this, though, is if people who like Libre are correct and Destinee by Rive smells like Libre, this is a very grown-up and ladylike smell to me. I think this smells quite boss lady-ish. I think it smells like a kind of glamorous mother, if you see what I mean, or like a kind of, you know, manager of a department, you know. I think it's got that kind of scent to it. I think it smells slightly classy is what I would say. Yeah, nowhere near as much vanilla as I was expecting, but maybe that's just this version. Maybe Destinee or Destinee, however you're supposed to say it. If I waft it past my face. It's nowhere near as vanilla heavy as I thought it was going to be, because I really thought Libre was a vanilla perfume, you know. Possibly the intense version and the other versions are, and possibly on skin. I have not tried this on my skin, because I'm scared to do that, because I think the jasmine in it's going to give me a mega headache. I did try Sweet Hope on my skin, and I already knew what that was going to be like. It's way too medicinal for me. This one, I think this is something I might appreciate on other people, and I really do not like on myself, and that, you know, that sometimes just happens. So not for me, but an interesting one. And again, like maybe £3 for that 20ml, so definitely worth trying if you can't afford Libre. Now, Wave of Love by Rive. Let's just get this up. This, I'm just going to make sure I say it right. This right here, you can probably tell from the colour and the bottle, maybe not so much the name, but just the general info about it. Wave of Love is a dupe for Lanvin, Eclat d'Arpège. I'm probably saying that, I'm probably butchering it, but it is a perfume I've been looking at for absolutely ages, and the thing that has always put me off getting this one is the fact that it's compared to Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue. I really don't like Light Blue. It's way too masculine and woody for my liking. I just don't like it as a perfume. This one had tea. It's got tea in it though, so it's one of those situations where I'm like, oh, maybe I should try it because it's got tea. And again, like, such a bargain. I'll just spray it on here real quick. Ooh, give it a bit. Good sprayer. This again, about maybe £7 or £8 for this 90ml eau de parfum. There she is. Really nice bottle, beautiful colour. Really looks pretty cool. Let's try and get these a bit more lovely in the thingy. If I just bring this forward, you might be able to see the colour a bit more. Really nice. It does smell like light blue. I don't think it's as woody, but it does smell a bit like light blue. And for me, it's just not a vibe I enjoy. I like the other elements of it. I just don't like the wood in it, you know. And this has cedar. So the notes in this: top notes lilac, lemon, and black elder. Middle notes tea, wisteria, peony, osmanthus, and peach. Base notes musk, amber, and cedar. And if I go and have a look at Eclat d'Arpège by Lanvin, I think it's probably very similar notes in this. They certainly match the colour, and a little bit, yeah, lilac, wisteria, tea, peony, osmanthus, cedar, and amber. Yeah. So I do get a bit of the tea. I think that's probably why it's kind of a bit chill, you know. It's like quite a calming smell, this one. I can totally understand why people like this. I do understand why people like this one. But as I said, I get a bit too much of that cedar that makes it too woody for me. And when something's quite woody, and especially cedar wood, I always think it smells a bit masculine, especially on my skin. The votes of this say that the lilac is at the top, followed by lemon and tea, and I would totally agree. But I would put cedar way higher than it is. Like, there's like 43 votes for lilac and only 12 for cedar, and I think this is quite a cedary perfume. I think it's more cedary than it is musky, to be honest. But yeah, if you like, because I like lilac, but I have the one I have is a Drop to Issy, and that's kind of like a powdery, creamy, soapy lilac, you know. And this one is much fresher, more watery. It's like a much more summery kind of smell. It's really chill. It's very spa-like, I would say. If I hadn't already done my spa scents, this one probably would have been in that. And in a way, I think it smells like so many things that I've smelt before. If I have a look through the comparisons, we've got, of course, Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue. Oh, there's a Bond number 9 in here, which I imagine costs a small fortune. So it's kind of funny that you can get something that smells like it for £7. Also compared to, green tea and lavender. I can actually see that a little bit. The Elizabeth Arden, Calvin Klein Woman. I'm not sure which, well, actually both versions of them. Interesting. Compared to Giorgio Blue. I don't think it smells like that. That's quite a guava-y perfume. This one's a bit more interesting than that. Yeah, and a Jeanne Arthur's one. I don't really know a lot of these, so I can't comment. I remember being very underwhelmed by the Calvin Klein Woman, except for the fact I love those bottles with the big eyelid. Not eyelid, but the lid that has an eye on it. I think they look so cool. I really like them. But the perfume inside didn't really do much for me. So anyway, I mean, I would say I don't hate any of these. Like, these three may not be for me, but I think the quality of them is actually exceptional. They don't last amazingly well, but that's because they're not as strong as the original ones. Although I will say this is probably exactly the same as Lanvin, because my general experience of Lanvin perfumes is that apart from Oxygen, all the Lanvin perfumes I've smelt are basically skin scents. They're very pretty skin scents that I like a lot, but they're skin scents, absolutely. And they are, I mean, you can probably, to be fair, get one of the real ones, a 30ml, for like 20 quid. But if this smells like it, the performance is probably going to be the same. So just get Wave of Love rather than a Clat d'Arpège, because it's cheaper for more, and you will have to keep respraying it, so it's better value. If you like Libre but you don't like how strong it is, or it's too strong for you, obviously this is good. Same for Sweet Hope. If you like Hypnotic Poison but it's just too much for you, I think this is probably much easier to wear. And, you know, I just really like these. They're both discontinued things. If you don't like fruity, sweet, tropically smells, you won't like either of them. But this one's really fun and fruity and yummy, and I really like it. Very syrupy, but not, it's got enough lime and pineapple that it's not too cloyingly sweet, which is what I find with so many Escada perfumes. They're just way too sweet without any balance in them for me. I need that acid to go with the sugar, if you see what I mean. The same with like cooking, you know, you want a bit of balance. But this one is my absolute favourite. I just love this perfume. I love the banana note in it, and it's so perfectly done. So yeah, I really... These two I'm keeping. These two I will pass. These three I'll pass on. But I think they're all nice. I don't dislike any of them. I think they're all really good. I'm massively impressed with Rive, and I don't see a huge amount of reviews of them. I see them like scattered around sometimes, but definitely The Curious Perfumer has a really good one. I found a few other good reviews of Rive perfumes in the dupes, and I will link them in this video, the ones that I really like. I know Sarah Mays has done one with some Rive stuff in. There's maybe a couple of things I'd still like to try from them, but generally speaking I kind of covered my bases with what I was just interested in. But yeah, I love these two, and none of these were horrifically cloying. None of them smell cheap to me. And I think that's a massive difference between this and Biers, because I've smelt 3 Biers perfumes now. I've smelt 2 that I don't think they're supposed to be dupes. I think they're their own thing, and 1 that's a dupe, and they all made me feel sick. They smell so cheap and rubbish. And Rive smells like a not as strong version of original things, but they're all really nice. So yeah, I mean, I will happily continue to buy Rive stuff if they bring out dupes of the perfumes that I'm interested in, that I just don't want to spend loads of money on, because realistically it's cheaper to buy this and this than it would have been for me to try and like get a sample from eBay, because by the time you pay for postage as well, you know, you're looking at about a £5, and these are like £3 something each. So I mean, it just seems like a good option if you're a bit of a bargain hunter like me. But yeah, like I said, I think Rive do really nice, impressive perfumes that I was not expecting to be this impressed by them.